Welcome to the Oaks Podcast. I'm your host, Travis Hall, alongside my wife and co-host, Ingrid.
On this podcast, we talk about all things real estate, entrepreneurship, business, faith, family, you name it, we talk about it, and how we do it all as an equally yoked husband and wife team.
We are glad you're here. Thanks for listening. Enjoy this week's episode. What's up, and welcome to the Oak Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Travis, and today I'm super pumped because I have a new friend, Jake Kraft. We've kind of teased this episode a little bit, but Jake we're here at a shop. We're at Boost Coffee Shop here in Coeur d'Alene, and super pumped. Ingrid is bummed she can't be here because she's with the kids, but this is our favorite coffee shop in town, and there are a bunch of them in town. There is a ton. People love coffee up here, which I love because, as you guys know, I'm a big coffee fan. But we're here at a shop, and Jake and I, got to know him over the last, 6 months?
Yeah.
And we were talking, Ingrid and I were in the drive-thru here back, and just kind of talking to Jake about his story of how he started this. And it really made us think, we need to record this. We need to have Jake on the show. For one, because we love coffee. And for two, you are an entrepreneur. You did it. You started this small business, a coffee shop in a pretty saturated market. Yeah. And I don't know the numbers, but there's always people here whenever we come.
Yeah.
And it's working.
Apparently
people like it. And so there's some differences about your shop to me, but I want to ask you the question next. But one of the things that I love is called Boost Espresso. And you give these little affirmations on all your cups.
Yeah.
And I love it. And we'll talk about this again as well, but it feels like your shop is unapologetically Christian. It's not like this Christian coffee shop. It's just clearly run by people that are Christians. And so I love that piece. It seems like, I could be wrong, but I've seen some people that work here, and it seems they're on the neurodivergent spectrum of sorts, which is super cool. We had a coffee shop, our favorite coffee shop in Denver. That was their mission, was that. They weren't a Christian coffee shop, so I wish they were, but they were all about that.
Yeah,
so
I love it.
I guess the first question is, when you come in, someone comes into Boost, what do you want them to leave experiencing that's different than just walking into Starbucks?
Oh, for sure. So being born and raised here, I've been to all of the coffee places in town. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, everything up here to me at the time of growing up, I was like, there's not really a fun place for people to really go hang out that aren't old enough to go to a bar if that's not their scene or something. Right. Or just throughout the day, there's not really all of the coffee shops I feel like were primarily built for just either homework or business. There wasn't anything just a fun hangout place to go get a cup of coffee or anything. And a lot of the coffee shops up here too don't really have all of the energy drinks and stuff like the drive-through stand. So that's kind of the big difference.
Is different.
Yeah. The Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly. In Coeur d'Alene, it's different. I've never seen that other places.
Oh no, it is a total Northwest thing to only have drive-through stands with the energy drinks and the coffees and just the quick grab and go thing. And so
Lotus, isn't that one?
Yeah, Lotus, Red Bull, Zit Fizz, those are the top three. And so kind of the big difference for a lot of the coffee shops up here is they only did the coffee side of it and they didn't do the energy drink side. And so growing up here, I was like, you know what, let's change that a little bit. And so I kind of merged the worlds of a drive-through coffee stand and a sit-down coffee shop of let's have the energy drinks, let's have the protein shakes, let's just do it all. Let's have somewhere where everyone can come together. And the heart and soul behind Boost, the name's kind of trifold, I would say. We were coming up with what to name it. It was hard because a lot of the things I came up with were a 2-word name.
Right.
And my mom was like, no, she's like, you need something that's just a 1 word, something that's just easy, something that it's easy to say. Okay. And she's thinking about it. And me to a course, I love to encourage and lift up. That's just who I am. I'm usually the friend that people call to who just need to talk or vent or just need some form of encouragement. That's something that I've been blessed with, is just being able to be that listening ear and to encourage people. And so as I was coming up with a name, Boost kind of came up as a synonym of to lift up. And so I
need a boost.
Exactly. And so Boost, we have protein shakes. So we're boosting your protein growth. We're boosting the gym goers, the muscle building. Boost, you're getting your caffeine fix, your morale.
Absolutely.
And the biggest one is the morale. Lifting other people up and encouraging. And I've told all of the girls in every single one of the interviews I said, I want this place to be a beacon of positivity. To where people come in here and leave happier or feeling better about themselves than when they first came in.
What does mine say?
Yours says you are worthy.
You are worthy. You can see that.
And then So every drink, either on the coffee sleeve or on the lid, there'll be a handwritten note. And some of them are funny, some of them are encouraging. Like mine says, "You are forgiven." So some of them are a little bit more deep than others.
Right.
I mean, I've seen a couple of them. I think I write on one of them, "Shimmy those shoulders," or just something, just fun, just
I love them.
something a little bit different. And so it's like, it was funny because we started it from the beginning of writing on all the sleeves and lids. And then Starbucks did it like a couple months later. And I was like, oh, they're out to get me, this little coffee shop. But no, it's fun to see. I think boiling it down, the biggest difference is the most fun thing that I've seen that the Lord is doing and owning this is the randomness to us of how the sleeves and lids fall into people's lives, but they're just perfectly placed
Mhm.
in the right people's lives at the time that they need it.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
No, you never know. And
He
it's
knows,
like,
which is super cool.
exactly. It's like I could tell you stories upon stories of people who come through like a day or two. They're like, hey, I just want to let you know that my sleeve or my lid said this. And it just made my entire week.
It's awesome.
It's one of the most cool things to see.
I do. That was the one thing that the first, granted, we live like 6 blocks away. I don't know exactly. It's like 6, 7 minute walk,
Yeah.
which is amazing. And so when we first got here, we were like, where is the closest coffee shop?
Yeah.
And so we came here. And I'm so glad we did because we come here often. And the first time we came, we saw this and we're like, interesting. And I think Ingrid said, like, Jesus loves you.
Yeah.
And we're like, wow, this is, granted, it's Coeur d'Alene. And so, I mean, we're from Denver. And so it's not quite as Christian publicly
Mhm.
as it is here. But I'm curious, I want to talk about that because I feel like it can be a big thing as a business owner.
Mhm.
Like people know that we are Christian. Do we run a Christian company? No.
Yes.
But they know that we are.
Mhm.
And we talk about it on the podcast, people that were clients, are clients of ours, they know that we are. They know I used to work at a church. And so we are unapologetically Christian as well. But in a business sense,
Mhm.
have you felt like, has there been like a rub or like have you ever like gotten like, oh, whoa, like
little-
maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I'm, obviously you're still doing it.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever felt like a whoa, I shouldn't be doing this. From the beginning, my prayer, and still is my prayer for this business, is Lord, this isn't mine, this is yours. Use it how you want. So He's first and foremost in my life. And if this is a representation of me and if this business is who I am, Jesus is going to be first and foremost. And so we'll put tons of our lids and sleeves will have a Bible verse on it. And I've had
Super
multiple
cool.
people come through like, what do I get to read today? And it's like exciting to see that enthusiasm towards reading a Bible verse. I've had a couple people, maybe 2 or 3 examples of people coming through and they're like, I don't want anything biblical or Jesus on my coffee. And I got like a 2-star review at one point early on
So
of
you
someone
have.
that was like, I don't need, and then they made some comment or something, and then they just started going down a rabbit trail because once you say one negative thing, they're just going to spiral. And like, and then they put this on my cup, and it was some scriptural reference or something. And I
They're
was like,
forcing Jesus on me.
yeah, and I keep Jesus off of my food and my beverages or something like that. I was like, okay, well, sorry, but
Yeah,
not really sorry.
I would imagine that's part of it. Like, like who your audience
Mhm.
is and you're casting that and like, it's all good.
Yeah.
There's enough audience to go around.
Exactly. I'm like, if this isn't your place, then this isn't your place. I'm happy. Maybe that little Jesus saying on there planted a little seed in you. Who knows? Who knows what it's going to be used for?
Who knows? Water the seed.
Exactly.
I love it. So let's go back a little bit
Mhm.
to your story of
Yeah.
like, you don't just fall into running a
No.
coffee shop.
No.
And so why a coffee shop and how did this whole thing come up? Starting from, at least from GCU.
Yeah,
You told
sure. So I went to school at Grand Canyon University. It's where I graduated from. And while I was on campus living there, I worked at the coffee shop on campus and it was so fun. I mean, made tons of great friends through working there. Super fast paced environment. The coffee shop on campus partnered with like every single event that was held on campus. So we do pop ups all over. And
So
it's
fun.
yeah. I mean, during our peak rush hour, we'd probably do like 200 drinks an hour. I mean, we were just
You guys
flying
are
through
pumping.
drinks. Yeah, we were going crazy, I loved it. And so I graduated and I got my bachelor's in business administration, and then I double minored in counseling and marketing.
Okay.
So when I graduated, I was like, it was like peak COVID because we had to leave campus. And so then everyone's still kind of like
So you graduated and you were gone.
we had to leave before we could walk.
Okay.
So the last final month of schooling was online, which kind of was a bummer. And then nobody got a walk. They held a graduation later in the winter if we wanted to go back. But at that point, I
You're
six,
done. Yeah.
8 months post graduation. It's like,
Mm.
okay, well, I don't really feel like going back to walk. Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah. And so after graduating, I was like, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was like, I know I'm great with people. I have my business degree. I have a counseling degree. I was like, didn't really know where and what I wanted to do, but I just knew that I love people, which is pretty uncommon for a lot of people. Everyone says they hate people, but I love them.
I love
Uh,
people too.
it's pretty uncommon. Yeah, that's one of the biggest. Oh, I just hate people. Well, sorry. I mean, I think it's fun. Everyone has a different story.
They do.
And so I was like, okay, well, what to do? So I loved working in coffee. And so I told my dad, I was like, hey, I was like, the coffee market's pretty open in Arizona for drive-through coffee stands because they're so common in the Northwest, but nowhere else. I was like, I could just go take over Scottsdale and Phoenix and just blow up. And he's like, okay, well, before we just like go dump money into a business, he's like, why don't you go live there, not on a college campus for a year and see if you even like it? I'm like, okay, it's good advice.
Yeah.
I guess I'll take it. So I moved down, lived there for about a year, and ironically enough, got a job at a drive-through coffee stand, which was catty corner to my apartment complex. So it was perfect. I didn't have to drive or anything. I could just walk to work. It was the best. Within a month of being there, ended up managing the coffee stand.
You took over.
Yeah, literally just took over. And so I got tons of great experience. And then as I was there for just about a year is when my older brother and sister-in-law were going to have my nephew. And I was like, oh, shoot.
And they're up here.
Yeah, they're up here. And I
Okay.
was like, crap. It's like, I'm a huge family guy. And so prayed about it, felt a peace about moving back up here. So I gave my boss a month's notice. That way he could have plenty of time to find someone because I did just about everything for him except for like payroll.
Yeah.
And so,
You're like the dream manager.
yeah, I did everything. I was there all the time and I loved it. It was great. And so, after I gave him a month's notice, I was about 2 weeks out from moving back home and he's like, hey, let's have a meeting. I was like, okay. And so we sat down and he offered me the business. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
This kind of changes everything. And so I was like, okay. I was like, and so being fresh out of school and having my dad in my back pocket as a great businessman. And my dad's like, okay, we'll ask him for XYZ. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And so I was like, hey, I want to see your financial statements, all of this stuff. And he's like, okay, no problem. And he sent it over to me and I didn't have to sign a non-disclosure or anything, which I was kind of confused about because I'm going through everything financial with him in business.
So he just wanted out.
Yeah, he just wanted out. And I was like, okay. And so as I was digging into it, the financial side, kind of nothing really, I was like, kind of seemed it was a mess. And so since I didn't sign anything, I could send it back to my dad. So I sent it back to my dad and I was like, does this look right to you? He's like, no, but nothing is really adding up. They're like, that something just felt off. So I was like, you know what? I don't, neither of us felt at peace about it. So declined the offer and moved back home. And then ever since I moved back 5, 6 years ago at this point now, which feels like just yesterday, had been on the property hunt. I was like, no, that is something I want to do. And I originally was just going to do a drive-through stand.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, just was going to do a drive-through stand. To me, it seems easier. It's just less square footage to manage and I was just going to do that. And so property hunting for 4 or 5 years, I mean, everything's just so expensive up here. I mean,
when that was the easy real estate time, 2021,
Yeah.
2022, and things were so affordable up here in Coeur d'Alene.
Right. And so like
For those of you who don't know, like Coeur d'Alene, it nearly doubled.
oh my gosh, it's insane.
I mean, in the 2021, 2022 era, this town was labeled like the #1 place to live on multiple magazines. And it truly doubled.
We also never shut down for COVID. And so everyone is like, I'm getting out of my town that's shut down. I'm moving somewhere that's free.
Right.
And so the housing, every market to purchase up here just skyrocketed. And so throughout looking for like a property to buy, because we don't want to lease because it's like, you don't know who the property owner is going to be.
Actually a hut.
Exactly. It's like, so you're not busy, but you're stuck with a lease of a high, it's just lots of factors.
And I think God had something to do with that.
Oh, just a little bit. And so everything was just so expensive in order to buy. And so just kind of waited on the Lord and I just worked a couple other jobs just for the time being while we property hunted, went down a couple different trails and the Lord just closed the door like right before we were about to send offers in on places. And then dear family friends of ours, Eric and Heather Rude, they own this building that we're currently in and they've been my parents' best friends my entire life. And so they're like second parents to me.
Okay, cool.
And earlier you said, you noticed one of the employees, his name is Nate. He has Down syndrome. And he's actually their son.
Oh, cool.
And so
I
he
met his mom then.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's been like one of my best friends all growing up my entire life. I
That's
actually did
amazing.
my senior project in high school about people with disabilities and how a
Mm.
disability can be viewed as more as beneficiary than something negative.
Right.
And so that's kind of been my heart and soul with whatever I do is I want to provide something for Nate to do.
I love that.
Uh, and so when they offered the building, they were like, hey, like we bought this like 5 years ago and just kind of held on to it, just investing in property because Eric is a fourth generation native to this area. And so he's been here like his whole life. Same with his family. And
Mm.
so like, we just want to invest and have something here.
Yep,
And
right on Main Street too.
literally. And so they're like, the property is yours if you want to do something with it. Like, not lease to buy or anything, but like we'll rent it out to you for however long you want to be here, like whatever. So
Awesome.
they wrote up a proposal.
What was here before you?
So this building was actually built in 1950. So it's been here for 70 years, 75 years, which is pretty fun. So it feels like a historical piece.
Right.
It lived a couple different lives. It was a gas station at one point. It was a mechanic shop at one point. I think its last life, it was office spaces.
Okay.
Um,
It's very obviously at some point an auto shop,
yeah. And
which
so
I love.
inside here, behind this wall, I can't really see it on camera, but there's a photo of the original newspaper article of when it opened up as a gas station. And so
Mm.
Eric blew it up on a canvas and we hung it up for
I
a grand
love that.
opening. And so they offered the building, they put money into it to kind of get it back up to life because it was super run down. I mean, it hadn't been touched for years. And so we kind of went in on it together a little bit. Obviously, we put in a lot to get it to
For
where
sure.
it is now. But
Yeah, it's beautiful now.
thank you. I truly couldn't have done it without them. I mean, well, the Lord, obviously. It's just this whole entire thing's been the biggest God thing of like, you know what, God, if this is what you want me to do, just make it present, make it known.
Right.
And we property on for probably 5 years. Then this just dropped in my lap. And then one thing after the next, just
It's awesome.
we were open within a year of renovating it.
So how long has it been open now?
We opened November 9th of 2024. So we're just over a year old,
Okay, cool.
which is crazy.
Well, and it's interesting, like in this pocket,
Mhm.
there's no coffee around here.
No.
Like there's coffee shops everywhere. Like
Mhm.
for perspective, in the CDA Metro, there are 55 coffee huts.
Yeah.
Like the full Metro. Still
Yeah.
55.
It's a lot.
Like they're always busy. It's amazing.
Yeah. So it's people find their spot and that's their spot and they're just
And they just
loyal to
go,
it.
yeah.
So that's the hardest thing of like finding how am I going to be different?
Well, you got to break into a new market. It's almost like,
Yeah. And so that's kind of why I was like, let's blend the drive-through stand with the coffee shop vibe and do something fun. And
yeah, your hours are more like drive-through hours.
yeah,
Like
so we open
in-
at 6
yeah.
and then we're open till 5. And originally when we first opened, we were open at 5 and closed at 8. And I would eventually like to get to the later hours, but it's just kind of aggressive of the town's still growing, which is crazy. It's crazy to say that because it feels like it's doubled and tripled.
Right. I'm sure.
But if you go to any like big city or anything, like coffee shops and everything's open late.
Mhm.
And then so
Because
until
it's a social hub.
yes, exactly. And so until that kind of becomes more of a present thing, then we'll kind of
Mm.
branch into the later hours and give something else to do rather than like going, quote, going out. Just another option for people to do. But that would be,
Well, and Ingrid will kill me if I don't ask.
yeah.
So, I mean, obviously we do real estate
Mhm.
and she is big time in design.
Mm-hmm.
And so she loves the design you guys have.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just curious about the design, like kind of more like this retro
Mm-hmm.
vibe and like your logo, everything is like, but just talk about that. Like, how did that come up or how did just your vibe in general?
Yeah, for sure. So, growing up here, if you haven't visited, everything is very like mountain modern. It's very
Mhm.
exposed wood and brick and metal. And I was just kind of, okay, that's overdone.
It is everywhere.
It's cement, everything. It's just overdone everywhere. And so going to school down in Arizona and Phoenix and Scottsdale, like there's coffee shops all over there. Like they don't really have the drive-through stands, but they have a bunch of different like coffee shops for all different themes. And nobody's afraid to do like different design. And I was like, that's so fun.
Especially Scottsdale. You're right.
Yeah. And I've always loved mid-century design. And my little brother, he is also into design as well. He helped me a lot with this actually. He's my graphic designer. So he's the one who made my logo.
Wow. Props to
And
him.
branding. Yeah. He graduated with a graphic design degree.
Okay. Got it.
And so
you did that as well.
yeah.
Oh,
And so
that-
while we were creating everything, I told him, I was like, you know what? And coming up with the logo, I just made like a Pinterest board. I said, here's all of like my inspo. I'm like, I want something along this vibe. I want something fun. I want something easily recognizable. It's like, you do what you do. Because that's kind of give them a little bit and
Yeah,
then they'll just
absolutely.
make it happen. So that's what he did. And then during the time as well, he was also an interior designer at Pottery Barn for a little bit. And so
Cool.
he had a good foot in the door for all of like talking, because so all of my furniture in here is from West Elm.
Okay, got it.
And so he had connections with people over in Seattle. And so we went over the phone and then we actually spent a weekend over there and like furniture shopped in West Elm. I kind of like played with all the different fabrics and put everything together. But it was a lot of fun. But yeah, we just wanted something different in Coeur d'Alene, something that's not afraid to
I love it.
be a different design and have a pop of color here, because everything here to me is very same thing, but a different font. And
Yeah,
so
a lot of industrial vibe, which I like.
I don't mind it either.
But yeah, exactly. It's cool, but it is a lot of it.
Exactly. And that's also like, it's like, what am I going to do that's different? How can I be different? And so it's like, you know what?
Like it would fit here pretty well in this space. Like real, I mean, I love it here, but like even like this metal beam right here.
Yeah.
Like you took it all away.
Yeah.
I
know. We're actually nervous about this because this used to be a whole wall.
Right.
But it's crazy. If you look up like along above that window, that's a solid cement beam. Like that's how they used to do framing, and just solid cement. And so it's, I mean, she's sturdy.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't have tornadoes here, but if I did.
Literally, I know. So it makes it fun, because if I ever wanted to expand, I'm like, well, I kind of just want to do the same thing of just cylinder block.
Yeah, it's awesome. Make it easy. Let's talk about the business itself.
Yeah, for sure.
More like small business, like owner, operator. What? Because it's different from like, managing. You get to taste operations, but you don't feel the full weight of owning it, like the financial side. So like starting this, what has been the biggest like, holy cow, this is difficult?
Yeah.
As far as the venture and small business ownership.
I think the biggest, this is difficult, goes alongside of like your journey with Jesus, I would say, is you know what, God, this is yours. And letting go of, I'm going to do this, and Lord, you do this. And because I was talking to another one of my friends, they opened up another coffee shop in town and they were freaking out. And I told them, I was like, guys, I've been there. Like I still kind of am there.
Right.
And I think the hard part is you want to look at your sales every single day. But the hard part is, the best thing is like look at it at a month at a time, because you could go crazy looking at your sales day to day and like, oh, we gotta slow down. Like, how am I going to change that for tomorrow? But tomorrow is a whole new story.
Right.
I mean, especially like Tuesdays for some reason are slow, but tomorrow, Wednesday, we could double the numbers we did today. It's just so random of, I got, okay, it's okay to have a soda. It's okay. Like not every day is going to be bam, 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 bam. And so I think one of the most difficult things is just putting your hands out in total faith of, God, okay, this is yours. You got me this far. You're going to continue to carry me through, and just learning to walk, not with your head down, trying to control everything, but God, this is yours. But how can we bring in more business here? Like what can we do different? Is it opening up an extra hour earlier, saying open an extra hour later? Do we come up with new menus? Do we come up with a promo event? It's like all those things can help. And so it's like, okay, what's going to be cost beneficial? What's going to be too much work for the employees? What are the employees? Because to me, the biggest thing is making sure the team is happy. And I have been so blessed with like truly the best team.
You do have a great team.
Thank you. Like it's been funny. One of like the number one things people ask me is like, oh my gosh, like how was hiring? How was finding a staff? To me, that was the easiest. They've been nothing but they treat this place like it's theirs. And it's amazing.
It sounds like the people piece is a big piece. One of the things we've talked about on this podcast on our last episode is I watched this guy, his name is Vic Keller. He's a billionaire businessman. And he's talked about all business is the same. You sell different things, but the actual structure is the same, and it's all about people. And he talked about, I'll say it again on this episode, he talked about three things. He said Chick-fil-A, and he said the Delta Force, military Delta Force, highest division in the military. So they have two things in common. And he said they're all about people. And the thing with people is it takes like good hires take chemistry, competency, and character.
Yeah.
And I feel like you guys have this cool vibe, and you're hitting that. And obviously you're all about people. So I commend you for that. But yeah, it was cool to see him talk about that in multiple businesses, and it all boils down to the same thing. It's just a people business. Everything is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of grew up in the business world. My grandpa started a business over 60 years ago called Environment Control. It's a commercial janitorial company. Uh, and now it's nationwide. We're coast to coast, and there's
That's
almost
amazing.
50 franchises across the US. Yeah. And so it's been like watching God work.
Is he still running it?
Well, he's slowly stepping down. My dad's now the president, but my grandpa still goes in every single day. I mean, he's 85 now.
Is it headquartered here?
Yeah, they moved headquarters here like right before I was born. So it started in Southern California. And then my dad and grandpa are outdoor enthusiasts. And so 28, 29 years ago, they were like, we want to get out of Southern California. We want to go to where we can just go hunting in our backyard or fishing wherever.
Good for them.
So they kind of just like looked all around and chose Coeur d'Alene and moved headquarters up here.
So they rooted here without anybody here.
Yeah. Yeah. They brought my great grandparents up here. And so now my dad's running the company. My older brother and little brother both work for the company as well. So that's kind of been a funny thing about, Jake, why aren't you? And I'm like, well, I just haven't felt the calling to work at the family business, I guess is what you could call it. And so
at least not yet.
Exactly.
Not this season.
True. You never know. I could maybe open up a franchise or open up Boost inside one of the franchises.
Right.
You never know. And so watching how they've ran business and handled business as strong Christian men has really helped mold and form me in running my own business of God first, and then you treat people like people. Their company motto is "It's about lives," which they hire janitors, they hire people.
Right.
I mean, not that there's anything against, but it's like a lot of the times it's like you're not getting people with a master's or a bachelor's
Or
degree.
blue collar.
And more blue collar people who need a job. And so being able to grow up and watch a successful company grow every single year for 60 plus years has been amazing. Truly just putting your faith in Jesus and treating people like people.
So let's camp on that because you have a unique upbringing. Like having that as like, that was your canvas. You saw that, which is super cool. How much of that, like, it sounds like it obviously did, but like played into you coming here and like you doing this? Like, did you always know this is what you do? You create and you build something, whatever the something is.
Yeah. So my family has a lot of leaders. There's a lot of leadership in my life. That's like my grandpa started the company and my dad's the president, and just like watching even my brothers, like we just almost in any situation or like friend group, just kind of, it's just people are just natural born leaders. And that's just kind of how I guess the men are in my family. And so being able to grow up the life I did, I'm extremely blessed of being able to watch how they would handle big things. I mean, they're not only just running a company, they're running franchise. There's almost 50.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And so it's like watching how they can still have fun with their life, yet still be in charge, but helping people guide them through their own businesses has been crazy.
Well, I mean, all those 50 franchises are looking to them for leadership.
Yeah.
There's no reason
for leadership.
You don't just get a franchise.
No.
You represent that
exactly.
company.
And so it's like the biggest, it's huge. And so the biggest thing that they've imprinted on me, or that I've taken away from watching them and still learn from them every single time, is you treat people like people. And it's not so much if they want to get angry with you, you lead with love. And it's like sometimes leading with love is kind of more of a stern answer as far as like, you know what, this is the area that is messed up and we need to fix that. And so it's like, that's
loving them out the door if need be.
Exactly. If need be. And it's hard because it's like sometimes you do have to let people go. And it's like I've watched them have to get rid of some people. And it's like, how can you do that without just making them hate you? And it's like I've only had to let go one employee, unfortunately, in the year being open, which is also a crazy statistic.
That is amazing.
But she still comes through here all the time. Like we're still friends. And so it's not that it's
in the wrong seat.
Yeah, just in the wrong seat. And so I said it before, but treating people like working all my other jobs going up to this, it's people get so focused on the task at hand rather than empowering people to take an initiative to get the task done. People just focus on the task, not the person.
Right. Which is, very real. Let's talk about future.
Yeah.
You have this new business and you're a year in plus a couple months. Yeah. Like, what do you have you set yourself all right, I have a 5-year goal, 10-year goal, or how does that work in this space? Or what is your hopes and dreams, for more business lens.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely would like to open more locations. But for me, I've seen a couple different places expand too fast.
Right.
And then the quality of the product, who they were, just goes downhill. And that's something that I don't want to lose. And so the hard part is with expansion is my presence in the
Right.
locations. And
Like learning how to duplicate you.
yes, and that's the hard part is not saying that it's different because it's my business, but I am here all the time.
Right.
And so
Well, and you set the culture.
exactly. And so that's the hard part is like, not that I don't have any faith in my team to carry on the culture,
Absolutely.
because I was just gone for a week and everything was totally fine. I told him, like, call me if you need me. Like, I'm still in the States. Like, it's not that I'm in a different country. Call me. I had no phone calls.
It's amazing.
And so I'm like, okay, they can do this. And so I think with expansion, we've been open for a year. We've seemed to have a very consistent product. I think we've only had to remake maybe 5 drinks in total.
Wow.
Yeah, people, I talked to them, like, if it doesn't taste like bring it back. Like, no, this is perfect. I'm like, okay, good, great. Whether people are being honest or not, that's up to them. And so I think with expansion, I would like to open up another maybe 3 shops at the most. Just kind of hit the cities, big Coeur d'Alene, Hayden, Post Falls, maybe Sandpoint at some point. But it's like I don't want to get too big to where we lose the uniqueness of what we are.
Yeah, that makes sense. I will say I've been I mean, again, I love coffee. So I've been to lots of coffee shops. And sometimes my fear with some coffee shops is like, you never know what you're going to get.
True.
And like, just because they have a door that you can come in and go and order something doesn't mean it's going to be good.
Exactly.
And I've never had a bad drink here.
Thank you. That's so
Truly.
exciting.
That's the one thing with Starbucks. You're like, you know what you're getting.
You know what you're going to get.
And so it is consistent. I've had some where I was in, we have a place in Grand Lake, Airbnb, Grand Lake, Colorado. And it's a small town. And there's several, so I'm not going to say any names, but I went to this coffee shop and it was an expensive drink. It was like a normal latte. It was like $9 and it was terrible. And I normally don't care. I'll drink Folgers. I'll drink a gas station coffee.
Yeah.
And I threw it away. We're on a tangent, but yeah, you're good. It is very good coffee.
Thank you.
How did you decide where you get your coffee?
Yeah. So that was another big thing is back to how am I going to separate myself? And so I put a lot of time and effort into like researching products and what products am I going to use, what products do other places use. And when we first opened, I used a roastery called Tubbs Coffee, local business. He used to sell his coffee beans in like one of the local grocery stores here. And so I have one of the at-home like little Breville espresso machines. And so before opening, I got a couple different coffee brands and everything. And I kept going back to his. I'm like, this is really good coffee. I really enjoy it. And so met up with him and then we set up an account, whatever. And he was my original roaster. And then about a year in, like honestly, right before our 1-year anniversary, he hit me up. He's like, hey, I'm pulling a different business route. He's like, I'm done roasting coffee. And I was like,
wow.
Yeah, I was like right before our 1 year. And I was like, cool. Okay. Good for you. Like, congrats on doing something different. And so then it was like a scramble of what to do. Because I didn't want to do anything that was because nobody else used him. I was the only coffee shop that used his coffee in-house. And so currently now using a roaster out of Spokane called Indaba Coffee. They have a couple different locations. They've been around for 16 years. They're phenomenal people to work with. Great morals as a company as well.
That's awesome.
And so I've used them because I liked the company. Their product is phenomenal. I haven't had any issues with them ever since. I've been with them for a couple months now. And I've loved it.
It's a crazy story about that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Was finding somewhere like local like important to you?
Yeah, I didn't want to do anything that was like too big.
Right.
The funny thing with Indaba is they are bigger, but they're not in Idaho. And so I really wanted to keep the how am I going to be different vibe, aesthetic about me. And so I was like, I could have gone with another local roaster, but a lot of them are already being used or they already have storefronts. And it's like, I don't want to use another storefront that's right down the road from me in my coffee shop because what would make me so different? Like I'd be
for sure. I mean,
like in the
makes
same
sense.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, well, Indaba has phenomenal coffee. I've always enjoyed my drinks from there. And so reached out to them and like, yeah, we do wholesale. And so set up a meeting literally the next day and did a whole tasting.
You're like, I need
I'm like, I
this
need
now.
coffee like now. And I called them. I was like, yeah, my roaster just dropped out. And they're like, oh, well, this is urgent. I'm like, yeah. So they were able to get me coffee that weekend. It's crazy.
It's crazy. I'm glad I asked.
A little stressful because it was right after I got
But I
back
mean,
from a week vacation.
You learned a lot in that
Oh
moment.
yeah. It's
You're like,
all about pivoting.
right. And being adaptable. Okay, cool. So let's talk about what you would give as advice. So we have a lot of people that, that watch and they want to do small business or they want to do some type of entrepreneurship. And so what advice would you give someone that's watching or listening that wants to go start up a coffee shop in their small town? What's a couple pieces you're like, do this or absolutely do not do this?
Yeah, for sure. I think if you're going to do it, for me, it helped a lot having experience. I know there's been people they'll just like, oh, this seems easy. I'm just going to do it. And so it's like, okay, well, maybe you should get experience in your field before you go to it. So if you're going to open up a coffee shop, I'd say first and foremost, try working in one, see if you even like it.
Right.
Two, get ready for long days. So whether you train yourself to go off of 5 hours of sleep, great. I'd say the biggest business side of it would be know your numbers. That's the biggest thing. And so like that's my dad's like number one thing is like, okay, what are your numbers at? Well, that's the first thing my grandpa asked. What are your numbers at? How are your numbers last month? What are your profit margins for this year? What's X, Y, Z? And so it's like constantly looking at your numbers and okay, where can I cut down this? Where can I improve this? And it's not just essentially price gouging because that's not what you want to do. But it's okay, well, okay, maybe I go grocery shopping at 2 different stores and one store to get 50 cents cheaper on this product versus this product. And it's like, where can you learn to cut a corner to shave off a little bit of excess that you don't need?
And I'm sure a lot of that just comes from knowing your numbers, like paying attention, and then intentionally trying to, practice on getting it better.
Yeah, for sure. And it's
getting
like
more efficient.
I go grocery shopping at like 6 different stores for this place. And it's like, everyone's like, why don't you just have
like Cisco come?
Exactly. And I did start with that, but then it's like, you know what? I'm going to save more money if I go here, 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 and here. And so like on a big grocery shop day, it'll probably take me 3 hours to go hit everything and then unload it and all that stuff. And so it's all about research. I mean, my Excel spreadsheet's like 10 pages long at this point of like where to go grocery shopping, price changes.
Makes sense.
Price of milk down to an ounce, price of 4 or 5 different syrup companies down to a pump of how much and average all of the things. It just takes time.
What is your most popular like beverage or like drink?
It's so funny because I would love to give one answer, but every day is different. Some days it's matcha. People just go crazy for matcha.
And I'm sure here it's so seasonal too.
Oh, it is so seasonal. But I would say a lot of people like to just customize a latte, which is just espresso and milk for those of you who don't know. But just because like a lot of the times we like to do surprises because people just can't really make up their mind. And so like, hey, we could just surprise you with something. And like, you know what, that sounds great. And so it's fun to do a surprise for people because it's like lets us let our creative minds just go. But I'd probably say a latte is like the number one seller. Yeah.
But see, I'm so boring. Like I always like looking at all the special things you guys have or like any coffee shop. And I'm a purist. I'm like, just give me coffee, maybe with 1 sugar.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So the fun thing that we do is compared to all of the other coffee places in town, I found that everywhere is very sweet on their drink.
So sweet.
And so we go half sweet on ours. So I'm like, I want you to taste the coffee because I put a lot of time.
No.
Yeah. So
I'm always scared. I'm like,
yeah. So all of our drinks across the board are half sweet compared to everywhere else. And so I usually tell people when they order half sweet, I'm like, you know what? Try our normal. If it is too sweet, I'm happy to remake it for you. And I haven't had to remake one.
That makes sense because Ingrid has gotten some drinks with protein in it. And it's always an iced thing. But it was that statement because she's like, I don't want a sweet.
Yeah.
And your barista was like, just try it.
Just try it.
And it was good. Yeah. I hate getting a drink and it's like it's wicked sweet. And it's like, if I get like a 4, if I'm really feeling froggy and I get like a 4-shot something, I'm like 1 pump of sweetener.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just can't do it.
No, they get really sweet at Starbucks.
It's like 2,000 calorie drink.
It is nuts. People don't realize it, but they'll get it every day.
It's insane. God, I love it. All right, cool. Well, let's wrap this up. So obviously this is the Yoked podcast.
Yeah.
I was going to give you a heads up on this before, but I didn't. I forgot.
Oh, I'm ready.
No, it's again. So for us, this whole idea of being yoked is like you're yoked to something or someone. And so, and it's really more like the business lens. It's like you can be yoked to your people, your employees. But like what in business right now, today, that would you say that you are currently yoked to? That without it, business wouldn't be as good. You wouldn't be doing it as well. Fill in the blank. But it's something or someone that you are currently yoked to that is making your life better.
Well, Jesus first and foremost.
For sure.
That's the given.
That is the given.
Everyone should be yoked there. Honestly, I'd probably say my employees, and I'm including my mom on that too, because she comes in and does all of our baking.
Oh, does she really?
Yeah, she does all of our baking. So all of our pastries minus a butter croissant are made in-house. But without them, I wouldn't have a business. And so they are the backbone of this place. I trust them I trust them so much I left for a week, and
Which is amazing.
they kept the business going. I heard no negative reviews. And just investing and pouring into their lives. It's been really fun and beneficial for me of creating that relationship. It's fun because I only have female employees. I didn't really have any male employees apply, which is totally fine.
Just you and Nate.
And just me and Nate, the only guys. And so a lot of them, all but one of them, are younger than me. And so it's been fun to not only come aside and be their boss, but a lot of them are in high school. So to kind of be like a big brother role to them too has been really fun, and just kind of,
which is cool,
see their own personal growth in the business and in their personal life as well.
That's awesome. Jesus and people.
Oh yeah. That's the name of the game.
It is the name of the game. And that's all you need to know from this.
Exactly.
Jesus and people.
And coffee helps.
It does help. All right, cool. So for people that are here locally and obviously they can come to Boost.
Yeah.
But we're at 20th and Sherman.
Yeah, 20th and Sherman.
Come by. It's amazing. But if people want to reach out to you or connect with you, how do they find you? Social or website or what?
Facebook and Instagram. boostespresso.nw is Instagram.
Okay.
There's another Boost Espresso in Spokane, so that name was a little sadly taken.
Especially being Spokane too. You're like,
so I'm like, fine, .nw, I guess. So boostespresso.nw on Instagram, and then our Facebook is, I'm pretty sure, just Boost Espresso.
Okay.
I didn't have to do NW.
I'll link it, so I'll make sure it's correct.
Yeah. But no, come and say hi, reach out on Instagram. I mean, I've recently been putting on a lot of the coffee lids and sleeves of like, hey, how can we pray for you? Shoot us a DM. And so I'm the one who runs the socials, so I respond to just about everything that's sent there. So yeah, feel free to reach out, come and say hi. I'm here about 6 days out of the week, but even if I'm not here, my team's all super friendly. They'd love to say hi and tell you a little bit about this place.
Absolutely. Well, Jake, truly thank you for being on. I hope you guys got something out of it. I know I did, for sure. And yeah, I'd love to just highlight you, and people come check out Boost Espresso. We might be here. It's our favorite spot in town. So yeah, hope to see you. Thank you for listening and watching. As always, feel free to like, subscribe, and until next week, have a good one. Thanks.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Yoke Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it.
And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along as we drop a new episode each week.